Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron here. This is a New York Times notable book by Bernard Lewis. Now, many of you are acquainted with Bernard Lewis. He's considered to be somewhat of an authority on the Middle East, and especially Islamic affairs. I know he's gotten some criticism, some pushback from some circles, but I read books like this just to kind of know what's going on in the world today. And so like Islam, let's say there's 7.5 billion people on earth today. They say over 1 billion of them are Islamic. So I want to know something about Islamics. Here in Albany, Georgia, where I'm at, they have, I think, 2 Islamic centers. I've dealt with Islamics, both when I pastored in the Atlanta area and here. I've had them stay in our church as indigents, believe it or not, and tried to help them, had them come to services. But then they started trying to proselyte and all this. So I want to learn about what's going on in the world, the thought processes. And so I haven't read this book, so I guess it's more of a preview than a review of this book. But it's basically talking about, okay, in Islamic society, where is Islamic society? Where is it compared to the West? Why is there tensions with the West? What has been going on? It's a long precedent. One time, I think it was in the news, maybe the New York Times or somewhere, I was reading Osama bin Laden, one of his deals that he wrote, and I was totally shocked by what he wrote. I was thinking this is going to be the ravings of a madman, which, it was, but it was very much a classical history, that this is a centuries-long war between Islam and Christianity. In his mind, like the Crusades and all this kind of stuff, and he's going back into the 1600s, battles, and like September 11th had this huge significance because evidently a battle for Vienna or something, this has been years ago since I read this, that they were pushed back. And so September 11th had all this significance. So I was like, man, this guy has a philosophy here. This is not just some radical rabble rouser that just decided to get a bunch of people from the Bedouins from the desert and give them machine guns and figure out how to do this. This is a well thought out historical paradigm with deep roots. So Bernard Lewis, author of The Crisis of Islam, the New York Times Book Review says it's remarkable, a concise study of the Muslim world's response to the West and its long, sad decline. It's on long, sad decline. Lewis has produced what maybe his most significant work for the contemporary audience. I noticed Wall Street Journal had a little blurb on the back, replete with the exceptional historical insight that one has come to expect from the world's foremost Islamic scholar. So if you want to get this book, it's only 186 pages, and that's with the index, 177 pages with the footnotes, copious footnotes, and 165 pages with the afterword. So I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. So God bless. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.